Well, I first read about this in AARP magazine, and it really piqued my interest because I'm selfish in the work that I have done to help make this happen in Columbia, because I thought this is exactly what I need. I love my home. I want to stay in my home. I think communities are stronger when there's diversity in the community. I have single people and married people and racially diverse people in my community. I think the little girl next door need to see you can be older and still, have an active life. I think we need diversity. And so when I read about it, I thought, daggum, this is something we need to look into. So a friend and I went in 2013, we went to Atlanta to the national conference, and we were sold and decided we're going to go back to Columbia and we're going to see what we can do to get a group going. And we got about 15 people together, and at first we belonged to the same church, and at first we were like, maybe we could do this through our church, and then we realized no, that would limit it. We need to make it bigger than the church. Although our church has been very supportive, and currently they're providing us with office space. So we could not operate if we didn't have their phone line and their office space, because we don't have the funding to support that kind of infrastructure. But it's for the greater Columbia. There's no limit. There's no limit. So I was one of the founding members. It does take a village to create a nonprofit. We had the USC law school helped us get our bylaws and get our nonprofit status. We've collaborated with them. And we're collaborating with the Arnold School of Public Health in terms of some of our evaluation systems and so forth. So there are probably about, at this point, maybe 20 of us that are really the stronghold that are making this happen, because one person alone could not do it. It requires a village to create a village and to run a village. I'm on the board now, but my term is getting ready to expire, and I'm a member and a volunteer. I plan to continue in both those same roles, even though I'm ready for somebody else to take over leadership. Mostly, the friendship is designed for people 50 and older, and most of our volunteers are 50 and over. I'd say it's probably majority women, but we have a good number of men that are volunteers. We have quite a few couples that are members. We have 2 levels of membership. You can be a full member, which means you get the services. We offer 8 services a month. Or you can be an associate member, which means you just participate in our activities and don't receive the in-home services. And I do need to be clear about those services. We because of liability, we don't do any hands-on. If you've had surgery, we're not going to come in and change your dressing on your wound, or we're not going to, put your medicine in the little day-to-day boxes for you. We have to be careful about what we can and cannot do. If you're in a wheelchair, we can't serve you because of liabilities. But we have quite a few men that are volunteers as well as associate members. As a woman, it's kind of like I said earlier, I don't think of myself particularly as a woman in terms of that being unique to what I do or don't do. I've never felt a restraint in my life because I was a woman. I remember the women's movement in the 60s, and I went to a bra burning rally, and one of my friends was like, "So, Barbara, are you ready to take your bra off and be liberated?" And I'm like, I don't know what I need to be liberated from. I've never felt that anything that I did particularly was because I was a woman. I'm sure it probably is. I'm probably in denial in regards to that because of the nurturing parts of most of what I've done have related to nurturing kinds of things. And I guess that would be the women's aspect of that. Because I would like to interject this here, I was instrumental in us starting at our church a backpack program because of the need for so many children to have nourishment if they're going to succeed in school. And so we got a grant and put together funding so that we could pack 50 backpacks every week for the children in our neighborhood school to take food home every weekend for their families, and that's been that's been very gratifying for me. And younger women now have taken that over. Again, women that have taken that over and are now seeing that that's continuing. So I'm very pleased that that's still going on after 8 years. It's kind of like having adult children. You know, I look at my adult children now with great pride and great satisfaction, and it's not that I pat myself on the back and say I did a good job. It's just very satisfying and gratifying to see, you know, that they've become independent adults. And I'm especially with the backpack program now, because the friendship only officially opened in October of 2015, so we're not that old yet. We're just a little over a year old. It thrills me that the backpack program has been sustained and is still ongoing and is in, you know, good leadership hands. I pray that happens with the village. We're still young, we're still floundering. Historically, new nonprofits don't have a good history. It's hard for nonprofits to start and be sustained. Funding is always a challenge. We have applied for some funding through the city and the county. We'll see, you know, if that comes through, because right now we really are pretty much depending on individual donations. And fortunately, because I said the church has provided us space, our expenses are minimal, but they still are there. So I hope that I can say 5-10 years from now that I see an adult child in the friendship, but I have to be honest and say I feel like right now it's still tenuous because we're so young and so fresh, but there are people already that say they don't know what they would do without us, and it's so important to them, and I feel like anything that important is going to find a way to go. I think we have to approach everything holistically. If we only depend on government to provide for us, then we're going to be in trouble. Government programs are essential and we need them. But I think we have to have the private nonprofits to balance that. And you get as much as you give. The people that are the volunteers are benefiting from this as much as the people that are receiving the services. I think all of us are stronger when we help each other. And I think it's really crucial for a community to have a multiplicity of sources for their citizens to draw from. And as I said earlier, it makes a community stronger. And when I did a presentation to the City Council, I said, you know, we're your voters. We're the ones that show up at the poll. We're the people who pay the taxes. You know, we don't have children in school anymore, those of us that are 50 and older that belong to the friendship, but we're the stability in your community, and so we need your support. Well, number one, we're a growing proportion of the community, and there are more of us than the community has resources to take care of. If everybody wanted to go into a retirement home and had the means to do it, it wouldn't be possible. As one of the members on our board is a retired doctor, and she says there are not enough beds. There are not enough places for us to go as we age, and we're happier and healthier when we stay in our own homes. And so I just think that the need is going to be greater and greater, and one of my philosophies is to be proactive and not reactive. I don't want to wait till I can't drive to say who's going to help me. I want to make sure that's in place for me before I'm not able to drive. So I think that we have got to take care of each other, and that's basically what the premise of this is. When this started in Boston, it was a group of neighbors sitting around having their afternoon cocktail saying, we like where we live, we don't want to move, what are we going to do? And they created this idea, and now there are over 300 villages around the country. And it's a growing movement, and it empowers us to take care of ourselves and gives us motivation to continue to be active and productive even after we age.